How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the potential breakout players for the Green Bay Packers in 2023. Now, going into this 2023 season, this Green Bay Packers football team is very, very young. Now more than ever, young players are going to start getting more opportunities for this football team. And that's why I believe this year, more than ever, is the perfect year to go over breakout candidates, as I think there's opportunity for more players to break out. It's definitely going to be an interesting year going through this transition of Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. And yes, every single year, the team does transition. There's players leaving and there's new players coming in. But I feel like that happened the most this year, this offseason, going from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. This team has really turned around in terms of really prioritizing young talent and going with that young talent and kind of moving on from the veteran players and the older talent. Whereas in years past, they really tried to keep these veteran players around, and sometimes that halted young players from getting the snaps they need. So for today's video, I'm going to be going over players that have at least been on the team for one season. Yes, a rookie can come in and break out right away, but this video is more aimed for players that have been on the team and are going to start seeing way more opportunities this year. But before we get started, I want to give a big thank you to today's video sponsor. So I have a question. What is more American than bald eagles? 4th of July is almost here, and that means barbecues, pool parties, and last but not least, glizzies. And it just so happens today's video's sponsor, Manscaped, is making sure all the glizzy gladiators around the country are ready for battle on America's birthday. From sea to shining sea, join over 8 million patriots who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Get 20% off and free shipping using my exclusive code BASS20. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. It's only right to start with America's favorite, their Performance Package 4.0. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. So first off, the Lawnmower 4.0. How can you call yourself an American without a lawnmower? Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 400K LED spotlight that you'll need for a more precise shave. Now, this trimmer is designed for below the belt, but it is also known to carve out some of the most exquisite mullets for the 4th of July. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 4.0, anti-chafing boxers and the Shed travel bag. Bring your crotch comfort to another level. And for all my diehard patriots who want to rock a dirty stash or goatee by the pool, look no further than Manscaped's brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Including this beard hedge trimmer, you'll be looking like the total American dream. Take your freedom bells to the next level by going to manscaped.com and using my code BASS20 to get 20% off plus free shipping. Get your independence back this Independence Day and unlock your confidence with Manscaped. All right, so now let's get into the video. Let's go over the 3 breakout candidates I have for the Green Bay Packers in 2023. So before I get into number 3, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Josiah DeGuara, tight end. He didn't exactly make my list, but if I had a list of 4 players, DeGuara would be that 4th player. And I know you might be thinking, the Green Bay Packers just drafted 2 tight ends, one in the 2nd round, one in the 3rd round. Why are you thinking Josiah DeGuara is going to be a breakout player? My main concern with rookie tight ends is it usually takes them a lot longer to transition, more so than other rookie positions in the NFL. It rarely happens where we see a rookie tight end come into the league and top something like 700 yards. I believe Evan Ingram in 2017, Kyle Pitts in 2021. Before that, I think it was all the way back in 2002 with Jeremy Shockey. So a lot of the time, even if it's a 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round tight end, whatever it may be, it takes them a while to transition and really get used to the NFL speed and everything to do with the offense. So I think to start this year, Josiah DeGuara is going to get plenty of opportunities. He's been in the system for 3 years now, 2 full seasons he played in. Obviously, that first season he tore his ACL. He had more receiving yards than Travis Kelce at Cincinnati. Not saying he can be a Travis Kelce, but he did have more receiving yards than him in Cincinnati. So he does have a receiving capability, and he's not simply just an H-back style tight end. Yes, the Green Bay Packers have been using him that way, but that's also because they had Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis, and they kind of filled those other spots. So I think Josiah DeGuara will get a lot more opportunities to start this year, and not only at that H-back role, and he may even be the week 1 starter at tight end. All right, so now let's move on to the top 3 players here. At number 3, I have safety Rudy Ford. Rudy Ford was signed just before week 1 of last season as a street free agent after playing on the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2021. And Rudy Ford went on to have a very solid 2022 campaign with the Packers. Now, Ford didn't see a single snap on the defense up until week 4, where he had to take over for an injured Adrian Amos, and he totaled 6 tackles, 1 pass breakup, only allowed a 39.6 passer rating, and had a really nice 78.9 PFF grade. After that, Rudy Ford went back to the bench as Adrian Amos returned from his injury, and Darnell Savage was still the other starting safety on the defense. That was all the way up until week 10. Darnell Savage really started to struggle, and that's where Rudy Ford started to take over snaps for Darnell Savage, even recording 2 interceptions in week 10 versus the Dallas Cowboys. Then weeks 12 through 15, Rudy Ford saw 100% of snaps on the defense opposite Adrian Amos, and finished the year with 442 total snaps on the defense, and was a pivotal safety role for that Packers defense. Ford actually finished as the 4th highest graded player on the Packers defense via PFF with a 74.6 grade. And moving on to this year, 2023, Rudy Ford is slated to be a full-time starter from the start now that Adrian Amos is gone and signed with the New York Jets, and he'll be doing so next to Darnell Savage, who he replaced last year. So in my eyes, Rudy Ford right now is that number 1 safety on the Packers defense. That safety room does have a big question mark. They also signed veterans Jonathan Owens and Tarvarius Moore. Those 2 can contest for safety spots, but I believe if they were to contest for a spot, it would be to replace Darnell Savage. And I'm a huge Darnell Savage supporter. I hope this guy bounces back and has a great year this year. I really do. But in terms of what they have done, I do believe Rudy Ford has done more in terms of last year going into this year. I feel like he had a nice season last year, although he didn't start every game. I feel like he had a nice season, and going into this year, he's my safety number 1. My point is, Ford will have every opportunity to break out as a quality safety for this Packers defense. And I do honestly believe Rudy Ford will be an anchor for this defense in 2023. And that's why he's one of my breakout players. My number 2 player on this list was a rookie last year, and that is Devontae Wyatt, our defensive lineman, the 2nd of our first-round draft selections in 2022. And this is another player on the defense, similarly to Rudy Ford, that will see plenty of opportunity in 2023. Last year as a rookie, Devontae Wyatt started this season averaging 15% of snaps on the defense. But as the year went on, Wyatt got better each and every week, and some weeks really flashing his true potential. For the last 3 weeks of the season, Devontae Wyatt averaged 50% of snaps. So he started the year at 15%, and at the end of the year, he ended at 50% of snaps. So as I said, as the year went on, Wyatt kept flashing, he kept getting better, and he earned those snaps. Wyatt even had a 90.6 PFF grade in week 18, and he ended the season as the Packers' 6th highest graded defender with a 69.9. He had 8 total pressures, 2 sacks, and 5 stops, and he was only slightly behind his college teammate Jordan Davis for the highest graded rookie defensive lineman in the entire NFL. And he's my 2nd breakout candidate for 2023 because this year he is slated to become a full-time starter next to Kenny Clark and TJ Slayton. With both Jerron Reed and Dean Lowry out of the building, those guys saw a combined 1,187 snaps on defense, and that is a lot of snaps to replace, which will benefit Wyatt the most, who only saw 224 snaps in 2022. Yes, the Packers drafted Colby Wooden and Carl Brooks, 2 defensive linemen that are going to see snaps in 2023, but I don't think either of those guys are going to see more snaps than Devontae Wyatt, and Devontae Wyatt's snap count of 224 in 2022, I think will skyrocket in 2023. Wyatt came into the league in 2022 as a very pro-ready NFL rookie, and I feel he is 100% ready to take that next step as early as year 2 and become a force on this Green Bay defense. I'm really excited for this Packers defensive line as a whole. I feel like they have a lot of talent in that room. Drafting 2 guys in this draft, Devontae Wyatt hopefully taking the next step and breaking out here, and then also TJ Slayton getting a lot of snaps, and of course we all know what Kenny Clark adds to that room. Just super excited for that room, and I do believe Devontae Wyatt will be one of these breakout players. Now for the number 1 breakout candidate player for the Green Bay Packers in 2023, it's wide receiver Christian Watson. After starting his rookie year last year pretty roughly with a horrible drop in week 1, then suffering a hamstring injury and missing weeks 3, 6, and 7, Watson blew up on the scene starting in week 10. In that game, totaling 107 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, then went on to score another 5 touchdowns in the next 3 weeks, giving him 8 total touchdowns in 4 weeks, which is just insane. Now, Watson ended the year with only 611 receiving yards, which is pretty crazy because the bulk of that yardage was week 10 and onwards. Actually, 85.6% of his 611 yards was week 10 and after. And week 10 and after, he averaged 74.7 yards per game. If he had averaged that all year, which obviously he didn't, it would have put him at 14th best for yards per game average at wide receivers and number 1 for all rookie wide receivers. Now, obviously that didn't happen, but honestly, I think it was the lack of opportunity and the injuries that stopped that. And if Christian Watson had a full season as a starting wide receiver his rookie year, I think he would have averaged that or more. And that's why he's my number 1 breakout candidate, because Christian Watson will be the number 1 wide receiver in this Packers offense. Yes, the Packers still have Romeo Doubs, who I believe both these guys will be, big parts of this offense. But I believe Christian Watson will be that number 1 wide receiver just due to his skill set, his deep ball capability, and how the Packers will be using him in this offense. Christian Watson has all the tools to become an elite wide receiver in the NFL. And of course, it will depend on Jordan Love too. When we look at last year's stats, that's mainly with Aaron Rodgers throwing the football to Christian Watson. But when we look back at last year's stats as well, Christian Watson's highest receiving yardage game was against the Philadelphia Eagles, where Jordan Love actually took over for quarterback in the second half there and hit Christian Watson on a 63-yard touchdown. So I do believe Jordan Love and Christian Watson will build that rapport early, and he'll become one of his main targets next to Romeo Doubs in this offense in 2023. And I do believe Christian Watson will have this breakout year, this sophomore jump, and very well could be a 1,000+ yard wide receiver for this offense. And like I said, it depends on a lot. It depends on Jordan Love, depends on injuries and all of that. But if he has a full season as that number 1 wide receiver with Jordan Love throwing him the football, I do believe he breaks out. I'm very excited to see Watson have the chance to thrive in this new offense. So those are my 3 breakout candidates for the Green Bay Packers for this upcoming 2023 season. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you agree with my 3 picks? If not, let me know in the comments a player on this team that you believe will have a breakout year in 2023. But that about does it for this video. I appreciate everyone watching. If you could please leave a like down below, it supports my channel a ton. And of course, if you are new here and you enjoy everything Packers, I post Packers content all the time throughout the entire offseason with training camp on the way. I'd really suggest going down and clicking that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest Packers news. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.